guys, and welcome back to another day of Inktober. So today is day 3, and I've got my paper right here and my colored pencil to do my sketch. Today I'm going to look at the word first, think of some ideas, and pull the supplies for that idea. So today's word for day 3 is bait, which I feel is pretty simple. Thinking of a mermaid under the water with like a fishing string like in her mouth eating the bait. It's not the most inventive, but it's the one that I really want to do. So given that I kind of have an idea of what I'm wanting to do, I'm going to pull out my Ohuhus. By the way, thank you Ohuhu for sponsoring this video and all my other Inktober videos since we're collaborating. And I'm just going to choose my color palette based on this idea. All right, I'm gonna go with these colors. My usual black 120 Ohuhu marker, my R11 Ohuhu marker, which is mauve, marigold, which is YR2, and then in the original Ohuhu markers, I'm using 28, BG1, and BG3. Let's go ahead and get started. I think one of the things I love about mermaids is it's a great excuse to go crazy with the hair flow, because when you're underwater, the hair just has no gravity and I can do whatever I want basically. All right, I think we're good. And so basically I'm just gonna start lining it. I think she looks super cute. There's definitely nothing more disheartening than lining something and realizing that you've messed up a little bit on the proportions in the sketch and didn't quite catch it until you start lining. And then you're like, that doesn't work. So basically, the way that I sketched her chin is a little too low for when I started lining it. So now I'm in a predicament where I'm gonna have to sort of guess all my other lines since her body needs to shift upwards in a sense. I mean, not by too much, but so basically I'm just going to do a little bit of erasing in certain areas, just so that I don't throw myself off either. And now her eye seems lopsided. What in the world? This is the worst sketch I've ever done. Okay, I fixed it a little bit, I think. And so now I'm just putting a thicker outline on the outside of everything, just to sort of pronounce the figure of this character. All right, and then I'm gonna draw the fishing line. And then this is supposed to be like the top of the ocean or water right about here. I don't know, thought it'd be kind of a cool effect. Not sure how well it'll look in the end when I color, but the idea is there. And there we go. Okay, so I feel I'm pretty much done with my line art, and then I'm just going to go through and erase. Oh, whoops. I forgot to do her scales. Let me do that really quick. There we go. And then it's basically ready to be colored. In my mind, I knew I wanted to make her hair like a yellow, which is why I decided on the marigold. And it's a little darker than expected. I don't know. I envisioned it to be slightly lighter, but it still works. Probably should have looked at the color swatch before I started using it. Now I'm getting goldfish vibes. Should just change her into goldfish. And so I knew I wanted her eyes violet, which is why I chose the mauve color. And then I figured since I chose this BG3 color for something different, but I do want to add some dimension to her eyes. So I'm also using it for her eyes for shading. And it did a good job, but not exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna pull out my fine liner and kind of create little shading kind of lines, and then a pupil. And then hopefully to pull it all together, I'm just gonna add the shinies. So now I'm just using color 27 in the original markers, mostly because they don't have this color in the brush marker just yet. And I'm gonna use this mauve purple for her fishtail. There we go. And her seashell top, probably her lips too. And then I don't want to put too much purple, so I'm going to be doing her vellum with this blue-gray one color. I forgot this was a marker that I'm losing color in, so it's getting a little difficult to fill the fin. But I got it. I had just enough. And then I'm just taking the BG3 to add just like an outline to the fin, just to add more interest and depth to it. And right here, I'm adding those same sort of wavy lines that I did in black ink up here to the middle in the blue-gray one. Since I'm losing color with it though, since I'm like pretty much out of ink, I should say, I went ahead and I added my own rubbing alcohol to the marker. And basically, I just fill the cap on the other side. So in this case, on the chisel nib. And just like with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and then I put the marker back in, flip it over since I'm using the bullet nib side, and I keep using it. And it works really well, especially to get like that last bit of ink out. All right. And then towards the outer edges, I'm going to go with the darker blue-gray and just repeat those same sort of wavy lines. And I guess that would pretty much complete color, but it still feels kind of like unpolished still. So I'm going to be adding some more lines to it because it felt kind of needed. Yes, the addition of these extra lines definitely give more interest to the piece overall. All right, so that's all I'll do for the hair because I don't want to overdo it either. I feel like I've got a really good perfect balance between a lot of dimensional lines and open areas. So what I'll do instead is probably add some lined shading. So like under the chin, with her arm back here, and with her fishtail in this area. And then shinies. All right. And I think that concludes the shinies. And I think that also concludes the picture in general. And so overall, this piece was a bit more lighter, more airy, not as, I guess you could say sinister or dark as my first 2 days. But I don't think you have to be so Halloween-y every day when it comes to Inktober. I think just the idea is creating an ink piece, however which way you want, whether that includes digital or color or whatever the heck you want to do. But yeah, so this is my piece for the word bait. So if you enjoyed today's video, maybe comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.